Welcome to life after the stroke. Stroke changed us. Three plumbers cannot find the leaks, and there was a constant presence. On top of that madness, Cutie was falling off the bed on my watch and the nurse's watch. Each fall was a report. I wanted to lower the bed as close to the floor, but I could not because the remote did not work. Luckily, she was not injured, and there were several x-rays to prove this, but I was annoyed, so I complained of hazardous conditions. Eventually, Cutie was moved to a renovated room, which was better than the first room. There was a roommate who was not contagious. I named this roommate Susie Q. Susie Q was pleasure to meet, and she took a liking to Cutie. Cutie stayed in that room until the end of her 4 weeks. When I was not there, Susie Q watched over Cutie. Susie Q educated me of the ins and outs of that facility. She also warned me, do not let her stay past 90 days. She also informed me that the nurse's aides were wondering the relationship between me and Cutie, and I informed her that administration was questioning me about her alcohol consumption. To be honest, I did see her taking sip from time to time, and I got rid of her empty bottles occasionally. I told administration I saw nothing like that. It was funny how the aides were in our business, but do not attend to their jobs. Case in point. I noticed when I came first thing in the morning, Cutie was in the wheelchair with her pants always soaking wet. I started the day changing her diaper and pants. I always brought an extra pair of pants, although I had a week of her clothing at the facility. This facility sucked. She was to get a shower every Tuesdays and Thursdays. If I did not request her showers, she would not get them, and when she showered, the nurse's aides would lose her clothing. After a while, I would give her bird bath daily, and I would bring fresh clothing every 3 to 4 days. The food there was not customized to specific needs. If the patient or resident should have a low-salt diet, you ate what you got. If the patient or resident should have puree diet, the server put everything in the blend, pour that mess onto the plate food, and you slurped what you got. Cutie already started with little appetite. If she did not like the food, she would not eat. What I have done, I would get a meal and chopped it up. I would feed her like that, or I would cook a meal and feed her like that, or buy a sandwich. After a while, I asked the speech therapist to change her diet to bite size. I had to sign a waiver to accept responsibility of feeding Cutie eating bite-sized food, which I did. As far as therapy, Cutie have not the 3 therapists daily, and definitely not the weekend. Speech therapist maybe 10 minutes. Since the speech therapist had no hope, I had her make a booklet of communication. For example, a page would have yes and no. Another page would say mask. Another page would have my name and my phone number. Another page would have different type of food. When the booklet of communication finished, it had 40 pages. I had to admit that booklet of communication was very helpful. Occupational therapist would take 15 minutes. Physical therapist was also 15 minutes or less, and Cutie had to share those 15 minutes with other 10 patients. Come back to life after the stroke to see what actually happened in physical therapy and what were the social workers' main objective.